They laughed when he walked onto the field, not because he was funny, but because he didn't fit the mold. Too skinny, too slow, he didn't have the pedigree, the connections, or the spotlight. The world had written him off before he ever had a chance to speak for himself. But in the shadows of obscurity, while no one was watching, he built something unstoppable. And in a single unforgettable moment, everything changed. This is the story of the overlooked, the underestimated, and the relentless. This is the story of a man who turned rejection into fuel. While others played, he studied. While others doubted, he believed. Not because others told him to, but because something deep within refused to settle. He wasn't trying to prove the doubters wrong. He was trying to prove himself right. A man who proved that belief isn't something given. It est something earned through grit, heart, and unshakable resilience. His family struggled to make ends meet, and luxuries were never part of the picture. He could have disappeared into the background and no one would have blamed him, but he didn't because he knew something others didn't. He knew that the climb was always hardest just before the summit, but it was his. A tryout spot opened up unexpectedly. Someone else dropped out last minute. It was now or never. But he didn't flinch. He stepped onto the field and tuned out the noise. This was what he had trained for. This was why he had endured the pain, the ridicule, and the silence. His body remembered every early morning. His hands carried the weight of every missed chance. His heart beat with the rhythm of every sleepless night. He packed his gear, got on the bus, and rode for hours. No entourage, no expectations, just a deep determination and an iron will. That the darkest nights often come before the brightest dawn. What others took for granted, a new pair of shoes, a ride to practice, or a quiet place to study, were battles he faced every day. But even at a young age, he had something no one could measure. A fire in his chest, a whisper in his heart that told him he was meant for something more. From the very beginning, the odds were stacked against him. Coaches favored the naturally gifted. His peers didn't take him seriously. When he spoke of his dreams, people smiled politely or chuckled behind his back. They said he was aiming too high, that he should be more realistic. He didn't grow up in comfort. Maybe he wasn't enough. Maybe his dreams were too big. But every time he thought about giving up, he remembered the struggle, the sacrifice, the hours no one saw. He couldn't walk away. Not yet. Not without seeing how far he could really go. School was tough. Not because he couldn't understand the lessons, but because the system was never designed for someone like him. But behind closed doors, he was working. Early mornings, late nights, while others rested, he trained. Rejection became routine. Tryout after tryout. Application after application. No after no after no. The door was constantly slammed in his face. He began to wonder if they were right. Years passed, and still no breakthrough. By this point, most people would have quit. Most would have said enough is enough. He could have chosen a safer path. And then came the moment, a call, an opportunity, one shot. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't grand. He arrived, eyes rolled, whispers flew. Who's this guy? He won't last 5 minutes. And then something happened. He moved not like someone desperate to impress, but like someone who had nothing left to prove. Every stride was sharp. Every move was intentional. He wasn't playing with fear. He was playing with freedom. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the biggest. But he was undeniable. Suddenly, people stopped talking. They leaned in. They watched. How had they overlooked this? But he knew. He had always known. He wasn't meant to fit in. He was meant to break through. Then they whispered again. But this time it was different. This time they weren't laughing. They saw something in him. Not just talent, not just drive, but something rare. Presence, hunger, mastery, born from solitude. By the end of the day, the coaches were shaking their heads in disbelief. How had they missed him? When no one stood behind him, he stood tall anyway. And that made all the difference. The applause was nice. The recognition was overdue. But it wasn't what he craved, what he truly wanted. And finally achieved was a chance to show the world what it had missed. He got focused. It's a reminder that greatness isn't given, it's earned. And sometimes, the world doesn't see it until it's impossible to ignore. From that moment on, everything changed. Offers came in. Opportunities followed. Cameras turned toward him. Headlines were written. His journey is admired. But the most powerful part of his legacy isn't the trophies or the titles. It is the lesson he leaves behind. Remember that you don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need one person. And that person is you. But he never forgot those silent years. He never forgot when the world dismissed him. He wore their doubt like armor. He carried their rejection like fuel. Success didn't make him struggled it, because when nobody believed in him, he believed in himself. He didn't become great in front of crowds. He became great when no one was watching. He didn't get lucky. He didn't get chosen. He chose himself. His story isn't just about one moment. It's about every moment before it. Every setback, every sacrifice, every silent victory. Today, his name is known. That belief starts within. That silence is not failure. It's preparation. That being overlooked is not the end. It's the beginning of a deeper resolve. So the next time they laugh, doubt, or dismiss you, remember this story. Let them underestimate you. Let them overlook you. Just make sure you don't do the same to yourself. Because when your moment comes, and it will, you won't need to shout. You'll simply rise, and they will finally see what you always knew. You were never the underdog. You were just getting ready.